We've got a powerhouse and a very young lineup over here, and we're very, very privileged to have this chance to learn from all of you, to be able to know your success stories and where you are at this point in your life. But before that, let's give them a warm round of applause for giving us this chance to learn from them today. All right, so just for us to get a better overview of what their businesses are, I'd like to give everyone a chance to explain or tell us all about your business and what makes it different. Starting with you, Cree.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Cree. I'm the founder of Messy Bessie. Messy Bessie's been around for 10 years. So for those of you who don't know, Messy Bessie is a manufacturer and retailer of all natural personal and home care products. It's a social enterprise because we put it up to provide scholarships and education and rehabilitation for formerly at risk, meaning formerly abused, incarcerated, trafficked young adults. So currently we have around 65 young adults with us who are taking their college education with us.
Right. Cherry?
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm actually a user of Messy Bessie. So I'm Cherry Aquilano. I'm the founder and CEO of Agria. It's an agriculture company. I don't know, in the Philippines, I'm known to make farming sexy because a lot of young people are not interested in agriculture. And I'm in agriculture for 20 years this year. I started teaching farmers at the age of 12 in a farming community in Silay, Negros Occidental, and it became into a business. You know, that's Agria is all about. But what we do now in the Philippines, since we have 7,107 islands, my company business model is we enter the island, and then we work with the government sector, academia, private sector, and a lot of local non-government units on how to establish food security in the island. Basically, like for example, we worked in the island of Marinduque, and now we're entering Siargao. We work in the import-export economics of agricultural food products. So we basically study why do you need to import food if we can plant it and grow it locally with the farmers' inclusion and fishermen inclusion. Because most of the time in the Philippines, especially when tourism is booming, the farmers and the fishermen they're not actually included in the economic growth. So my company is doing a lot of work in capacitating our farmers, not only on connecting them to market, but connecting them to the right mentors and actually financial support.
All right, next up we have Kay from Macho Mucho.
Yep. Macho Mucho is a barber shop. It's a hybrid salon for men and women. My brother actually started it way back 2012 because he's the millennial type of guy. So he wants to find a barber shop where he can truly feel himself, not in an old style one and not in a parlor, which is what's available in Jensen.
Kasi madalas magkahiwalay yun.
I know.
Oo, tapos nahihiya yung mga lalaki pumunta sa parlor.
Yes, exactly. So that's his frustration. So sabi niya, why can't there be a barber shop na parang I can feel naman I belong? So he started in 2012 in Jensen, which is in the bottom part of the Philippines. 2014, I came in the picture. So from then on, now we have 8 branches. We have here in Manila, in Luzon 3, and in Mindanao we have 5. So that's it.
Okay. All right, for next we have Mika.
I'm Mika Tan from MFT Group of Companies. So we're a private equity group that buys into family legacy businesses, very diverse industries from finance, medical equipment, pharmaceuticals, and we have operations in 9 countries now. Fresh out of high school, I started this with my partners. And if you work for a family business or you would eventually want to pass on your business to your family, we're the group and we'd like to be that strategic partner you look for.
Next we have Abby.
Hi everyone. I'm Abby C. I'm an artist and author. So my work is basically hand lettering or calligraphy. And I've written books on lettering and journaling. So I also teach workshops here and abroad. And I've worked with several brands and clients dealing with promoting art and making it a more accessible platform for everyone.
Yun yung nauuso ngayon sa Instagram, di ba? Yung mga
Yeah, sometimes
drawing.
I do drawing, logos. I love to do a lot of illustration work.
Next, Aya.
Hi, I'm Aya Fernandez. Project Lily PH is a livelihood project to persons with disabilities, and we manufacture charcoal from water lily, kaya Project Lily, and coconut husk and other agri-forest wastes. So we supply charcoals to Korean barbecue restaurants in Metro Manila. And yun, aside from yung mga may kapansanan ang aming staff, we see to it na we provide their conditional needs.
Jen from Snowy.
Hi everyone, I'm Jen from Snowy Beauty. We are a local cosmetics company and most of our products are made in the Philippines. What makes us different? So basically, we try to make our products more hip. It's a completely different market. It's for the international market actually. So our products right now are available in Amazon. It's available in the EU. So under Malili Bule, we're planning to enter Lazada in Vietnam. So aside from that, we have 30 different outlets in the Philippines. We also franchise our outlets. And we're also available online.
Next, we have Angeli.
Hi, I'm Angeli Dove of Access Travel. So Access Travel is not just a typical travel agency because as the owner of the Access Travel, I travel to most of the places before we sell it to the public. Filipinos were so, when I entered the travel industry, the travel agencies were so pushing the clients to join their tours because they had quota. So what I did is, I went to places people weren't familiar about. Like 4 years ago, I went to Iceland. Everyone was like, what is it in Iceland? Why are you going to Iceland? Now, Iceland is an emerging destination. So that's what I do. Last year, I went to Greenland. So I'll keep it short. My personal goal is to bring every unknown destination closer to the Philippines. That's all.
So it's both domestic and
Right. But I chose the unfamiliar destinations because I don't really want to compete with small businesses. I mean, there's a lot of competition, so I just want to be different from everyone. I know it's going to be hard for me, but I just like hardships in life.
very, very interesting actually. Not just her business, but also I think her nationality. Her name is Angeli Dub.
But I speak Tagalog very well.
She
like,
speaks
very well.
Tagalog very, very well. And you look Indian.
I know. I'm
So
half.
which is it?
I usually don't disclose my nationality for personal reasons.
Oh, okay. But the declaration is Filipino.
What?
Declaration is Filipino.
Well, yeah, Filipino by heart. Nagtatagalog po ako.
Na ang galing. Kasi bira lang ako. I mean, you're really, really good at Tagalog.
Very
But
good.
let's go on to the business part. Let's go back to Cree. You founded Messy Bessie, and not just, it's not just a business selling products, but also at the heart of it all, you help those young adults who are at risk. Do you think that, this model because I think it's an observation that a lot of businesses now, by millennials, always have an advocacy or is always going towards an advocacy, helping somebody, helping a group, helping disadvantaged. Do you think that that's a special characteristic of millennials? And how did did it come naturally to you to help these at-risk young adults?
Okay, well, confession, I'm not a millennial, but I can relate with the millennials and everybody in my office. I'm the only one who's not. So having said that, yes, I do believe that millennials now are a lot more relevant than us oldies. I really feel and believe that millennials really prefer having a purpose, and you can hear it here. Everybody's so purposeful now. So it's hindi na uso yung trabaho lang just for sweldo. Now everybody's working to make sure that their lives are more meaningful. So yes, I do believe that.
Do you consider it an advantage that there are more young entrepreneurs now? Do you think that that's an advantage, or do you think experience still beats whatever that advantage is?
I started my business because I had experience. I had 8 years corporate life, and I know for me that worked very well. But I think
What was your job before?
I did everything. I started as a financial analyst, went through marketing, all these different departments. But I think now kids, I mean the younger generation can put up their own business without that much experience because information's literally in their fingertips. And I think, as again, evident here, I think you can do it without a lot of experience anymore. Just grit. That's what people need, grit. You know, yung tiyaga.
Because the technology sort of levels up the experience. That's why there are a lot more entrepreneurs. How did you come upon your advocacy of helping the at-risk young women?
I think that's a personal choice. I always wanted to be in social development. But at the same time, I didn't really want to rely on other people's donations or funding. So social entrepreneurship, for me, worked really well. You make your own money and you help the way you want to help. So that's how we do it.
So I was actually searching your brand, no? Messy Bessie. It's also natural. How important is that? I mean, to the home. Like, how did you see that need na parang, eto, may pwede akong mag-business dyan?
Kasi 10 years ago, we started it, hindi pa masyadong uso yung natural. So we did it just as I guess, a risk. If we do it, then we'll be one of the first, which we are. And then for the kids that we're helping, it's also giving them a point of view where they're actually part of something that's giving back. So they're part of something that's making homes safer.
For Cherry, actually si Cherry, dapat i-interview ko siya for TV Patrol because I found her advocacy very interesting. You know, I've always been attracted to the provinces. Parang gusto ko yung mga, yung provincial life, farming. And you, I think that interest is quite unique for a millennial to have, especially in this day and age where we all want to be more modern. Saan nanggagaling yung passion mo for agriculture? And what do you think have you done to make it more modern?
For me, I guess it's not just about, of course, I'm so lucky that I found also purpose within my passion. You know, I found purpose that there's purpose on feeding a lot of people. And in terms of, Gretch, in terms of like making it modern, you know, and it needs to be a business. For me, for young people to see agriculture as lucrative, you know, going to the countryside and really putting up farms and making it productive is not just a hobby, you know, it needs to be a business. And for me, always remind myself, as long as there's a person I need to feed, you know, one that's a mission and one that's a business. And look at the population is insatiably growing. Philippines right now is 103.3 million people. And last night I read in an article that Philippines is the number one number one country to be invested in. But agriculture is number one to be invested in the Philippines because there's so many people to be, to be fed. And for me, making it modern is also the inclusion of agri-technology in business. As much as we love our cows and carabaos, as my mentors would say, we can also let them go, as part of our agritourism in the farm or for dairy production, but really to mechanize our agriculture in the Philippines. I've talked to a lot of young people, why are you not in agriculture? They would always say, because when we're in elementary, there's always a song, magtanim ay di biro, maghapong na kayo ko. So we need to change that mindset, and for me to modernize that is also go mechanized farming, but in a sustainable way, and at the same time, really the inclusion of agri-technology in what we do. Like, sample of agri-tech right now, like agriculture is not only about the production. The online grocer thing, that you can order your grocery of fresh vegetables and fruits online is actually part of agri-logistics, I always want to change the narrative of people, especially the young people, seeing agriculture that, it's only about planting and growing crops. No, the mission of agriculture is feeding someone. It means for young people to be involved in agriculture, there's logistics in agriculture. There's a whole lot business in the entire value chain of agriculture. Like for example, even Messy Bessie, that's why I'm a user of her product. Because, you know, for the ingredients that she is using, they're all coming from agricultural raw materials. So a lot of young people needs to see this to modernize agriculture.
Na hindi lang siya pagsasaka o kaya pangingisda, na maraming component ang agriculture. And interesting, that what she mentioned about agri-technology is the use of websites, of apps, to be able to make the logistics better. Okay, for you naman, Kay, you are from Macho Mucho. Saan? Davao ba?
Gensan.
Gensan.
Yeah.
From Gensan, you've expanded your branches.
Yes.
Up until where?
We have here in North EDSA, in Southwoods, and BGC.
Okay, so coming from Gensan,
Yeah.
where did you get the courage, to set up your business there and to go beyond the boundaries and set up a business in Manila?
Yeah.
I mean, you're very young. Parang, how did you? What was the most difficult challenge in doing that?
Okay, so me and my brother were from Gensan talaga. So my dad and mom sent us, me here in Manila to study and my brother to Iloilo. So when we finished college, I worked here, and then sabi ko parang I wanted to go back to Gensan. And then when I went back, sabi ko parang, you know what, there's so much potential and so much talent from people of Gensan. And we don't have brands coming from there. We don't have brands coming from there who can compete with Luzon brands. And it was something that me and my brother felt strongly about, because we know there's just so much Mindanaoan talent. So from then on, my brother and me, we were just, my brother is a marketing guy. My orientation is operations. So sabi namin, why don't we just, combine our talents? Let's see how far we go. So in the beginning, it was kind of hard because it's a sibling dynamic. So, parang, we're still brothers and sisters, but you know what? This business. So from then on, we kind of tried expanding to Davao. It was hard because my brother was in New York that time. So it was kind of me and a team who just, opened our Davao branch. And then we saw how the Davao market embraced the brand. So that's why I got this confidence me and my brother got this confidence. No, why not expand and open franchising? And then from then on, we've had lots of inquiries of franchising. And they thought kasi it was a Manila brand. And we were, no, it's a Gensan brand. It's something that we are very proud of to say that we are from Gensan, down south Gensan. And because when you say Gensan, you hear Pacquiao.
Ang galing. Oh, ngayon hindi na.
Yeah, I mean,
Pacquiao tapos Macho Mucho.
hopefully. Kasi laging tanong sa akin, where are you from? I'm from Gensan. Kapitbahay mo ba si Pacquiao? And I'm like, not so.
Minsan.
And then what's hard because I'm a woman and I introduce a barbershop and they're like, are you sure? And from then on, you let the brand speak for itself. You let the brand be known by itself. So that's why, and the biggest motivation was when my barbers and my stylists came up to me and said, kaya na po natin.
Ano sabi?
Sabi nila, kaya na po natin mag-expand. And when I got that confidence from then, I was, okay, I'll do whatever it takes. Me and my brother will do whatever it takes to get us out from Gensan and make a name for Macho Mucho. So that's how it kind of developed until we got here where we are now.
So you did it step by step also.
Step by
Tested the
step.
market,
Yep.
went a little far,
Yeah.
and then yun na.
Yeah, but
franchise na.
we've had a lot of crash and burns and oops, mali pala moments. But then again, after that, you get the confidence back and then you do more of the challenging stuff.
I just have to ask this. How happy are the men?
What do you mean, how happy are
I
they?
mean, diba? Minsan parang ginajudge natin. Totoo, yung mga lalaki na nasa parlor. Totoo naman yun, diba?
Yeah.
But, just, going to the,
Yeah.
your,
Yeah.
what do you call it? Barber
I
plus
hybrid
parlor.
barbershop.
Barlor.
Barlor. Yeah, I'm confident to say they're happy because they keep on coming back. But then again, kasi we have a barber and a stylist. You'll be surprised how much of an influence Korea is to the Philippines. That we have guys coming in wanting, the colors and all that. They want ribbons and all that. And when they go to a parlor, they think na parang, oh, I do not belong. So they come to us instead.
All right, let's go to Mika. So I was reading your profile a while ago, and you are into angel investment, no?
Angel investing,
Sinerch ko yung kanina kung ano yun eh. Parang sa startups yata yun, tama ba?
Some startups, but mostly family legacy businesses.
Family line... Legacies and
Yeah,
business.
family
Tell
legacy
us all
businesses.
about, that
Well,
kind of model.
I don't know if you guys have watched Men Who Built America. Have you seen that? Okay, not all, but yes. You should watch it on YouTube. The Men Who Built America, they're the Rockefellers and the Vanderbilts and the Carnegies of the States. And I'll share this in connection to what I do. And I think today we have some of those types of people. We have the Alice Eduardos, the Rosalinda Wees, and these are the people who have built massive businesses for most probably their children also and for the heirs. And what MFT Group of Companies does is we'd like to be that strategic partner to work with that family who built that business in terms of succession, in terms of scaling, or even to pivot where their operations should be. Right now, we've helped about 20 companies in diverse industries, from medical
Wow.
equipment and finance.
Does this come from your background as Chinese? Kasi alam natin, sa Chinese background, mahalaga yung succession ng businesses.
Right. I think somehow it does. My great-grandfather started the pawn shop business, but my father was a doctor. And I remember when he would come home, I'd wait for him, and I had this little notebook, and every time my dad would come home, I'd ask him, "Dad, how much did you make today?" And he said, "Kapal naman ng mukha ng anak ko to ask me that." And I would write, he would say, "Oh, I made 1,000, 10,000, 500. Until one day my dad came home, and I said, "Dad, oh, how much did you make today?" And he said, "0." And I froze, and I cried, and I said, I don't want to be a doctor. But after that, it stuck. And I said, I think that families have to really plan out what their kids want and what their interests are. And that's why MFT Group is here. Some interesting companies, if I may share, that are family legacy businesses. One is Salad Stop. Are you familiar with Salad Stop? They say it's the McDonald's of salads. So Salad Stop is actually a family legacy business. And there are many other legacy businesses in the Philippines that haven't been.
So does that mean parang inayos yung organization for succession?
Yes.
Yun yung ibig sabihin
Yes,
nun. Okay.
yes.
For your information, si Mika has not only been operating in the Philippines, but has expanded its investment and operational teams in over 9 countries.
That's right.
Globally. And their vision is to have 100 business areas worldwide.
Yes.
So how do you see this? How do you plan to achieve your vision?
Well, in our company, we started from very humble beginnings, but with a lot of mentors. And we call it 100 Strong. And because after a couple of years, we've reached 100 employees, and then we've reached, targets in terms of hundreds. And 100 business areas is our vision. Especially, we know how diasporic Filipinos are. We're all over the world. So why not, have access to different businesses with Filipinos across the globe? And right now, I'll give an example. We have a subsidiary that has operations in California. They manufacture vape products. Okay, they're called Two Puffs. And I heard that Zac Efron and Leonardo DiCaprio are fans. So this company has operations in California, but it's challenged in terms of succession. And that's where we come in. And that's where we help them,
So
figure
you've
things out.
identified, actually succession it's not an easy thing to talk about.
Oh, it's not.
It's very, very,
Very
sensitive.
difficult.
What's the biggest challenge you've had to encounter there?
I think the biggest is coming into a family corporation as an outsider. Because initially you're not part of the family.
And
But
another thing, your age also.
yes, also.
How do you deal with that?
I think I have forgotten I'm a millennial. I sometimes feel most of my best friends are, of course, there's a mixture of millennials and Gen X's, but I grew up listening to baby boomer songs like Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin. So I think somehow that has an effect. It's nice to work with a lot of families, especially in the Philippines, because they're more open. Here in Go Negosyo, you've got mentors who are running big corporations who are willing to share their trade secrets to, let's say, the second liners like us. And that helps a lot.
Do you also advertise online?
We don't advertise online. It's more on really a
Personal
relationship,
relationships.
a relationship
Okay.
basis. Yeah.
All right. Now, let's go to Abby. Abby, as I've mentioned, is the artist of the group. How difficult is it to penetrate the market now where everybody, all millennials, are trying to be creative with their own work?
Actually, I was gonna say na I'm the only one who doesn't have their own brand because my name is actually the brand already. So I'm like a physical manifestation of the brand. And yeah, I would agree with what you said. A lot of people are venturing into creativity right now, especially on Instagram. Like everyone wants to draw because it's Instagrammable. And I think it still depends on the core of what you do best. Like I started out, like me, I'm also Chinese. So actually, the reason why I call myself a creative entrepreneur is, as a Chinese Filipino, you're required to have a business. So every time people ask me, so what's your business? So I tell them, oh, I make art. It's my business. I make books. I write books. I do art for clients, and it's something that I do as a business model. And I guess I've always wanted to draw, and I think with the emergence now of social media, it's become more accessible to everyone, like tutorials, teaching people how to do these kinds of things, because in this day and age, we're very focused on, how the digital age is emerging.
So you do YouTube videos also?
Starting to, but my work is mostly offline pa rin I sell books. I publish with Summit Media. I've
Okay.
written 2 books for them, and then my latest book is an internationally published book. So it's more of trying to put the message out there that anyone can learn. And right now, yeah, as I mentioned, people are so into digital and they're looking for a way to be therapeutic. That's why they do a lot of these coloring, calligraphy, brush lettering, and I think it's a good time also to try to tell them that anyone can do it.
Actually, maganda yun kasi meron din tayong trend na we want to go back to what
Yeah.
was.
Yeah,
Without the
everyone's into
technology,
analog. Yeah.
mga throwback, kumbaga. But in creating art, what works? Is it being consistent with your brand, or is it being dynamic with your creativity?
That's a good question and a good point, because people right now want to be like the Jack or Jane of all trades. Like, it's better actually to be able to do a lot of things. Like, at this time, you can't just draw nice things. You have to take good pictures also. And if you can write better, that's good because you can make a book. But other people choose to be consistent with one field of work. For example, if you're a fine artist, you really focus on doing gallery work versus, like me, I'm a commercial artist, what people call it, kasi my work is commercialized. So I think it depends on how you want to grow as an artist and as a person. Like, even if I always get labeled as an artist, I don't try to limit from that because I love writing. I also love playing the guitar. I do a lot of other things that are, I guess, complementary to my creative process.
I guess there's also that's also one characteristic of millennials, that we don't want to be boxed.
Yes.
Like we want to be this and that, we want to be this and
Multi-hyphenated
that.
people. Like, we always say, I'm an artist slash author slash blogger slash writer slash whatever. Like, people love to have a lot of different job roles, and people think millennials are multitaskers in that sense. But I think it's more of us being resourceful and using them to the best of our abilities.
Ang dami na nga natin labels. Actually, pag tumingin ka sa mga social media accounts ng mga millennial, we put what we want to be there, what we want to be known for. Now, let's go to Aya. Aya, you're still in college, am I
Yes,
right?
I'm in my third year college. I'm taking up broadcast communication.
Okay, so you're still in college, but you are doing this business already, social entrepreneurship.
Yes.
How do you balance?
Ayun. Joke lang. I mean, of course, may nako-compensate. I mean, hindi, may nako-compromise, I meant. But I think it's the fulfillment that makes it going.
How did you fall upon this Project Lily PH project or business that you have?
Project Lily PH started, the idea itself, it started in my high school science research. It was a fiberglass reinforcement made from water lily. So water lily yung nasa mga rivers natin, not the flower water lily. And then from there, when I graduated college, Project Lily is originally a livelihood project to the women of Pasig. It was a 5-day livelihood project class, and then we made bags from water lily, now woven. And then after that, it was in 2015, and then those who attended the class had their own businesses already. And then I left it, and then I left the barangay, continued the livelihood project. And then same year, I met a group of PWDs who knew the technology of making charcoal from biomass wastes. So nung point na yon, I was just there and posted in social media. Wala akong intention na magtayo talaga ng business or to like head something like this. Kasi syempre gusto ko college, chill lang and all. And then the following year, I was nominated to United Nations Sustainable Development Goals Youth Leaders. I wanted those group of PWDs to become my beneficiaries. But then they stopped their production. I learned that they were no longer doing it. And then they were endangered of leaving their land where they were staying. So nung time na yon, I was able to submit my proposal to United Nations already for these people to connect, to bridge people, me as youth, to bridge them to the right people. That was just my role back then, I thought. Ayun, it called for someone to take over, and yun, using my savings from hosting and modeling, yun yung ginamit
So
ko
that's how you balance the financial. Because I'm very, very curious. A lot of us want to help. We want to, para have that advocacy. But how do you balance financial stability with your, desire to go out there and
So
help?
that's how I started. But when I started, my plan was just to get the ROI from the people. So I will let you borrow my money, the startup capital, for the machines, for you to continue the livelihood project. And then you just return it to me. But then when they started, unfortunately, there was no really a sustainable system. The cash flow wasn't there, the management, even the technology side. So that's when I decided to take over and head the livelihood project. And so yun na, ginamit ko na lang din yung Project Lily dahil yun na yung may attention from my friends and then from people. So yun na. And then hindi ko na lang namamalaya na, hala, entrepreneur na pala ako. So, yun.
So you started with your passion and your desire to help. All right, so let's go to Jen from Snowy Beauty. Now, I've read here in your profile that from 2013 to 2014, your brand launched new products almost every 2 weeks.
Yes.
How difficult was that? And how do you find the focus in doing that kind of business now where you have to release a lot of products all the time with so much distraction going in?
Well, beauty is basically just like fashion. So there's always new trends that are coming out. So for example, the trend in color when it comes to lipsticks this season won't be the same trend next season. So it's just like fashion. So you come out with collections. As well as there's also technology involved when making cosmetics. So it's not just what is the raw material right now, it's going to be the same one that we're going to be using for the next 5 years. Because there's always new innovation when it comes to raw materials, new ingredients. So like, for example, the trend is going back to nature. So more natural ingredients. 10 years ago, 9 years ago, when I started Snowy, natural ingredients were very, it's not common. And it was very expensive. So right now, because everybody wants natural ingredients, it's becoming more available so that we can create better or safer cosmetics. So that's why we always try to change and innovate whatever we have.
What was the most challenging part in building up your business?
Well, the most challenging part is I have 4 kids, right? So I have 4 kids. My youngest is 2 years old. So I have to, it's mostly work-life balance. Of course, I need to focus on my business so I can provide for my kids. So I think that's the challenge right there. And also, starting a business is not that easy. Because, of course, you have to give it a lot of time. It's like another baby. Because for Snowy, I consider it like another child. It's my baby. And I have to give it...
What was the role of your husband in
Well,
setting up the business?
Right now, he's running Snowy under operations. So he's renovating all our stores. But back in the day, because let me just correct you, I'm not a millennial. I'm 42 years old. So
Hindi naman po mukha.
thank you. So back in the day, my husband was running our other businesses. But right now, since we're growing, he's helping me with the renovations, with the operations, and we have a very strong team. Because as we grow, of course, I have to start hiring good people that will fit the culture of what we're building.
All right, let's go to Angeli. Now, you are in the travel business, and we all know that's so popular nowadays. You know, how do you make yourself stand out? Aside from the fact that you mentioned that you go to the unfamiliar destinations, how do you make yourself stand out, in the noise?
All right, since I'm the last speaker, I don't want to bore anyone with my history. That's past. Let's focus on present. I want to use this opportunity to inspire the people of my age. I started when I was 19. Growing up in the Philippines as a foreigner, everyone wanted me to join beauty pageants. But my dad was like, no kid, beauty is not permanent. Your brain is permanent. We are not teaching you to use your face or body to make money. You will use your brain till the day you die. Until my dad passed away when I was 14. So I'm the eldest child. So I was like, okay, now I am the dad of my siblings. I just have to stand up. Because my mom is isip bata. So I was like, okay, this is my time to shine. So I graduated college. I wanted to be a flight attendant because I've been traveling since I was 10. So there was no Instagram. And a few years ago, I took a look at my Instagram. My first post was an airplane, and that was 2010. Airplane. And Instagram wasn't a thing that time. Then I was like, oh my God, this is creepy. I think this is my destiny. I was really meant for this. So my story is kind of different. I already got into Emirates for flight attendant. I was supposed to leave for Dubai till my mom said, could you please not go? I won't survive my life without you. I was like, okay, another kid, privileged kid, staying with the parents, blah, blah, blah. So I decided to stay in the Philippines. But I told my mom, I want to get into a business. But not any kind of business, but traveling. She was like, are you sure you want to get into the travel agency business? I was like, yeah, I'm 100% sure. So I used the power of photography because I connected the dots. Filipinos are so into foreign faces. So I used that factor. I know how to do photography. I know how to take videos. So I put up an Instagram account 2010. So I started my business 2011. Since back then, up to today, my business is being run on Instagram with my photos. That's it. I write my stories, all my travel stories. So I go to different places around the world. I've already been to 60 countries at age of 27. And it keeps on going, going, going. Because my personal goal is for the Filipinos to go beyond Paris. There's Peru, there's Brazil, there's Argentina. I know I will have hard time to bring in those destinations to the Philippines because as Filipinos, we are so kasi parang, ay madumi doon, mabaho doon, walang pagkain doon na Chinese or Asian in general. So I want to debunk that. I've been traveling for the last 7 years and I don't think I'm stopping anytime. And there's one more topic I want to explain is that the kids nowadays, the millennials in general, they think I'm a blogger. I'm a traveler or someone pays for my trips. I pay for my own trips because it's my marketing. It's my way of showing to the Filipinos, this is how traveling is done. You don't wear heels, you don't wear expensive clothes, no one cares. Once you're inside the plane, no one cares if you're a millionaire in the Philippines or you're whatever in the Philippines. Once you're in their country, you're just a citizen. So I want to enforce to the Filipinos that travel for experience, not for social media. No one cares. It's your life. I mean, you work whole year round. If you have 2 weeks off, use it as a break from everything. Use it. Don't post kasi may yung kamari nyo pumunta ng ganito, punta din ako, don't picture din ako sa labas ng Eiffel. Don't do it that way. Don't do it that way. I mean, people nowadays don't go into museums anymore. There was a client of mine, I asked her, did you see the Mona Lisa painting? She was like, ano yun? I was like, it's inside the Louvre Museum. So it means people don't care about history anymore. And the kids, I want to go back to that topic. Kids, I did a talk last week, and I asked them, what do you want to be 5 years from now? And they told me Instagrammer, I mean, which is sad. And it's the power of social media. People are using, it's very wrong. It's very wrong. Ako, I always tell everyone, I'm not a blogger, I'm not a photographer, I'm not an Instagrammer, I'm an entrepreneur. I make people travel. I travel to make people travel. And I don't want to be a blogger because they get free stuff. I pay for my travel because I have the money to pay for it because I worked really hard for it. So what I wanted to tell the millennials is use your younger years to work. Work now, we can enjoy it later. I did it. I worked very hard from 19 to 24. Technically, I was retired by 25. I've been traveling since I was 25 and I'm not stopping anytime. And I'm still single. I don't know what's wrong with it, but...
There's nothing wrong with you, girl. There's nothing wrong with being single.
I know. But so yeah, I just wanted to use this opportunity to tell the younger generation, don't compare yourself to people you see on Instagram. Everyone has their story. I have my story. My dad passed away when he was young. So when I see him someday, I want to be proud. Hey, Dad, I didn't use my face. Even I had it. I used my brain because you told me so.
Wow. Beautiful, beautiful message. I love how you were able, or you are able to change a culture because of your business. And I think that's the power of business. I mean, I was an entrepreneur before, but right now, it's really my personal brand. But I can see the bigger impacts of setting up your own business and doing it the way you want it to. And I think the 3 things that set millennials apart, number 1 would be identity, because as you've seen, these are all very different businesses that they've set up according to their own identity. We've seen, a wide array of businesses. Hopefully, your eyes were open to those kinds of businesses and opportunities that you can take on your own. But at the heart of it all, they went back to who they were. Number 2, the courage. The courage to make things happen, even at a young age. The courage to start on their own, to start up, and to break the norms, to set a new culture, to set a new trend, and to establish different attitudes. And the third would be openness. The openness to other people, to other ideas, to whether it be young or old, advice from the young or old, or openness to life, openness to a new way of doing things. I think that's what makes businesses millennial. Thank you so much for being with us and sharing us your advice and your stories today. We definitely picked up a lot and definitely a lot of inspiration. Maraming salamat. We'd like to call on stage for a photo op. Ang narinig ko po, ang mentor ng bayan, si Mr. Joey Concepcion.
Let's go, kinabukasan ay gawin natin.
We'd also like to call Miss Alice Eduardo.
Sama-sama na tayo sa tagumpay. Pilipinas ngayon na ang oras. Tayo'y umasenso na. Let's go, Pinoy. Tara magnegosyo na. Let's go, Pinoy.